Hello children, welcome to the online session of Sri Gokulam Public School Guruvayur. Children, we are going to start a new chapter today, that is chapter 7, Directing. You all know about the 5 functions of management. They are planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. We have already learned planning, organizing and staffing. Today we will learn about directing. Concept of directing. Directing refers to the process of instructing, guiding, counseling, motivating and leading people in the organization to achieve its objectives. Children, you all know that every organization they have some objectives, and to achieve these objectives they make the people to work. So it is through directing function that they make the people to work. The process like instructing, guiding, counseling, motivating and leading is used so that the people can work and thereby the organization can achieve their objectives. Now here are the characteristics or features of directing. The first point says that directing initiate actions. While other functions of management prepare a setting for action, directing initiate action in the organization. It is an executive function. So the first point says that directing is an it is a function that initiates action. In planning, organizing and staffing, which are the other functions of management, a set is organized. So we prepare a set, and it is through directing function that an action begins. Hence, it is known as executive function. It is through the directing function that the execution of the work take place. Hence, it is known as executive function. Second point says that directing take place at every level of the management. You all know about the 3 levels of management: top level, middle level and bottom level. Every manager from top executive to supervisor perform the function of directing. The directing take place wherever superior subordinate relationship exists. So at every level of the management this function can be seen. Top level, middle level as well as the bottom level. Not only that, wherever you find a superior subordinate relationship, at all places you can find the functions of directing. Next is directing is a continuous process. It takes place throughout the life of the organization. It will never stop. This function will never stop because we have to make the people to work. Through only the function of directing we can make them work. So the managers may come and go, but this directing function will continue. Next point is directing flows from top to bottom. Directing is first initiated at top level and flows to the bottom through organizational hierarchy. It means that every manager can direct his or her immediate subordinates and take instruction from his or her immediate boss. So the fourth point states that directing flow is from top to bottom. So a manager, he can take orders or instruction from his boss, and the same he can pass to his subordinates and make him work. So directing flow from top to bottom. Here are the importance of directing. The first point is directing initiate action by the people in the organization towards attainment of objective. This point we have already covered. As per this point, directing is a function where action take place, and it is a function where people will start working and thereby achieve the objective of the organization. Other functions of management like planning, organizing and staffing, it is making an arrangement, it is preparing a settings for action. It is through the directing function that execution of that plan, organizing and staffing functions will take place. So directing is known as an execution function where actual working take place. Next, the second point, directing integrate employees' effort in the organization in such a way that every individual effort contribute to the achievement of organizational goals. So directing is such a function in which employees' efforts, whatever effort is putting in the organization, that individual efforts will contribute to the achievement of organizational goals. Third point is directing The third point is directing guides employee to realize their potential and capabilities by motivating and providing effective leadership. So it is through the directing function that the employees will realize about their potential and capabilities. So the manager, he motivates this employee so that he can realize what all potential how potential he is and what all capabilities he has, so that he can help in achieving the organizational objectives. Fourth point is directing facilitates introduction of changes in the organization by reducing resistance to change and developing cooperation. So it is through directing that the managers motivate the employee, he becomes the leader of the employees, and he can facilitate introduction of changes in the organization. So manager make the employees understand that changes are for the betterment of the organization. For the growth of the organization, it is good to have changes in the organization. So that have to be understood by the employees, and for that manager can use the function of directing. So we can say that directing facilitates introduction of changes in the organization by reducing resistance to change and developing cooperation. Fifth point is directing helps to bring stability in the organization since it fosters cooperation and commitment among the employees. It also helps to achieve balance among various groups, activities, and the department. As you know, children, the organization is made up of many different types of people. All of them are working there together to achieve the organizational goal. But this human resource, they have different attitude and different behavior. But a stability have to be maintained, and directing function helps to bring about stability in the organization. It is through directing function that a sense of cooperation and commitment among the people can be brought about. It also helps to achieve balance among the various groups, activities, and department. So these are the 5 importance of directing. The next thing which we have to study related to this chapter is elements of directing. There are 4 elements of directing. They are supervision, motivation, leadership, and communication. Supervision means overseeing the employees at work to ensure optimum utilization of resources and achievement of work target. So every organization, they have some target to achieve. So here the supervisor, he plays a very important role by overseeing the employees at their workplace, and he also ensures that there is optimum use of resources, and through that we can achieve the work target. More detail about this supervision is deleted from your portion. You just understand what is the meaning or concept related to supervision. The next element of directing is motivation. What is motivation? Let us see through this slide. Motivation means the process of making subordinates to act in a desired manner to achieve certain organizational goals. So there are certain organizational goals that we have to achieve in a desired manner. Okay, so there is a way of doing the things. So in that desired manner, we have to achieve the organizational goals, and for that subordinates are motivated. Okay, so motivation is a process through which we make the subordinate to act according to the desired manner so that organizational goal can be achieved. Motivation depends upon satisfying needs of the people. So for motivating a people, we should know the needs of the people. According to that, we have to satisfy them. Now let us see the definition of motivation. Motivation refers to the way in which urge, drives, desires, aspirations, strivings, or needs direct, control, and explain the behavior of human beings. So our behavior will change according to our desire, our urge, our aspirations towards achieving a particular aim. So if your aim is to score an excellent mark in your +2, so your urge, your drive, your desire should move as per that. Okay. So motivation also refers to the way in which your urge will be satisfied, and for that your behavior towards it will change. Now here are some important terms related to motivations. First of all, we have to know what is motive. Motive is an inner state that energizes, activates, or moves and directs behavior towards the goal. So it is something from within that give us energy, that make us activated and makes us move, so that our behavior changes to achieve that goal. Motives arises out of the needs of individuals. So it is our need that makes us motivate. Some such motives are hunger, thirst, security, affiliation, recognition, etc. Now what is motivator? Motivator is a technique used to motivate people in an organization. Motivator is a technique which is used by the manager to motivate the employees. So that can be motivators. Some of the motivators may be in the form of pay, bonus, promotion, recognition, etc. in the organization to influence people to contribute their best. So how can we influence? How the manager, what manager uses to influence the people so that they can contribute their best in the workplace? So the manager uses pay, bonus, promotion, recognition. So these are the techniques which manager use as a to influence the people. Now next is motivation process. Motivation process is based on human needs. An unsatisfied need of an individual create tension, which stimulates his or her drives. This drives generate a search behavior to satisfy such needs. If such needs is satisfied, the individual is relieved of tension. So it is like a process, my dear children. Motivation process means it is based on our needs. What is our need? It creates us, it makes us unsatisfied. Okay, and some types of tension will be created in us because we are deprived of that need. We don't. It is to get what we need. We will start searching, a sense of a type of search behavior will be emerged in ourselves, and we will start searching for the thing which will satisfy our need. And when we get that thing what we need, our need will be satisfied and we will be relieved of our tension. So that is motivation process. Okay. Now you can see a pictorial representation of motivation process. First stage is we have some need and we are lacking of that thing what we actually required. So deprivation is the situation. We are lacking that thing which we need. Then drive. Drive means it creates that thing which we don't have, that creates a drive in us. It creates a tension or drive to fulfill that need. And then actions will start. That is, goal directed behavior will start from there. And at last, when that need is satisfied, or when we achieve that need, we are satisfied, and that reduces our tension, our drive, as our needs are satisfied. So this process is a continuous process, and after satisfying this need, a new need will arrive. So this process goes on. Okay. Now, features of motivation. What are the features of motivation? Motivation is an internal feelings. The urge, desires, aspiration or need of the people which are internal influences human behavior. So these things are there within us. Okay. So these are the things which changes our behavior. For example, people may have the urge or desire for possessing a motorbike, comfortable house, reputation in the society. These urge are internal to an individual. So this is a feeling within which is within us. and for the satisfying these needs, we will our in behavior will change. Okay, so all the working will be related to satisfy our need. All the working will be related to satisfy our needs. So these are some of the needs which will influence our behavior. So manager have to understand what is the need of that person with which we can influence that person. So first of all, the feature of motivation is an internal feelings. Second point is motivation produces goal-directed behavior. For example, the promotion in the job may be given to the employee with the objective of improving his performance. So on the basis of improvement of employee's performance, the person is given the promotion. If the employee is interested in promotion, it helps to produce a behavior to improve the performance. So if the employee is interested in promotion, getting promoted in his job responsibility, in his job position, in his salary, then he will produce a behavior which will improve his performance. So if his performance increases, gets better, then his promotion is there is a guarantee of promotion. So his behavior will change according to, or his performance will improve, so that he can satisfy his need of promotion, getting promoted. So we can say that promotion produces a goal directed behavior. So our goal is promotion. So as per that goal, our behavior will change. We will improve our performance. That is our behavior, okay, to satisfy this goal. Next is motivation can be either positive or negative. So manager, he can give a positive motivation to the employee as well as a negative motivation to the employee. Now positive motivation provides positive rewards. So how a manager can give a positive motivation? By giving a positive rewards like increase in pay, promotion, giving promotion, recognition, etc. These are the examples of positive motivation. Otherwise, the manager can go for a negative motivation, uses negative means like punishment, stopping increments, threatening, etc., which also may induce a person to act in the desired way. So to make an employee to act in the desired way how the manager wants, he can use a negative motivation of giving punishment, stopping his increments, or threatening him regarding his job and all that. So with that also the manager can make the employee to work as per the desired ways. So we understood that motivation can be either positive or negative. Now motivation is a very complex process. Why it is referred as a complex process? Can you tell me? Yes, because each individual is different. His need is different. His way of behavior is different. So motivation is a very complex process because any type of motivation may not have a uniform effect on all the members. Individuals are heterogeneous in their expectation, perceptions and reactions. So every person is different. So their expectation is different, their need is different, their reaction is different. With this difference, it is difficult to understand what can motivate that employee. It is a very difficult process for a manager to understand what can influence a employee and give him motivation according to that. That's why motivation is referred as a very complex process, difficult process we can say. So children, now it is time to wind up our class. Let us have a review of what we have studied in today's class. We saw the meaning of motivation, definition of motivation, and we also saw some of the terms related to motivation, that is motive, motivator and motivation process. We also saw the 4 features of motivation. So you have to go through the chapter, read it and underline the main points and attend the test paper attached. So let us wind up now. Meet you in the next class with new topic. Till then, goodbye.